All right, we have begun. Welcome
It's been a
back.
while, right, man? It's been
Yeah,
over a year
took a little
since we last had
hiatus.
this. Yeah, I
Uh,
got.
but the public clamoring, they just needed us back, you know?
Yeah, I know. They got me the judge to release me from prison early. So yeah, that's why we were gone for a while. Not really, but it'd be pretty funny.
If you were in jail?
Yeah,
What,
what do you think? I would get destroyed in jail, man.
oh
I
my
don't think I don't
god.
think I could really
You
make
would
it.
be prime meat.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Hopefully,
Your a-
luckily I'm not really a criminal mind, so
yeah,
hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon.
your ass would look like hamburger meat by the end of it.
Oh, thanks for the imagery there. That's pretty disgusting. Well, it depends. If I went to like, they might put me in like a special jail, you know, because they know I'm just gonna be like a prime target.
That's
They
true.
they do that to people sometimes, you know.
What would you go to jail for if you were gonna go to jail?
What would I go to jail for?
Yeah,
Oh my God. Well, I'm Jewish, so obviously money laundering,
that's true.
right? Right?
Yeah,
The
something of
Bernie
that sort.
Madoff thing.
Yep,
That could happen.
it could.
Um, Let me
Uh,
see. Realistically, maybe I don't know. I actually don't know what I could go to jail for. I don't really do anything bad anymore.
all right. You want to start talking about sports?
Oh yeah, that thing. That thing.
That thing. That thing.
So, do you want to start with the recap of the NFL season and the Super Bowl? It was
Sure.
just a couple of weeks ago, or just a week ago. Jesus.
Yeah, not even. That was
Uh,
that was a very good Super Bowl, I must say.
Yeah, it was. It was probably. I haven't been around very long, but it's probably in the top three Super Bowls that I've watched. It's hard to place it, given an exact rank within the ones that I've actually seen, but it was definitely in the top ones. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's one of the better ones of the decade
Especially
at
after
least.
last year's.
Oh yeah, that was a stinker, but I think this more than made up for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
I didn't.
uh to me, yeah, Cardinals Steelers was very very good. That was a
Yeah,
great
it's
Super
one of the
Bowl too.
ones I was thinking of.
And Giants, Patriots. Although that one wasn't good for 3 quarters, and then it was just an awesome fourth quarter.
I thought it was a pretty good game for three quarters. Very because the Patriots looked unbeatable the entire
That's
season.
true.
Remember, and
That's
that
true.
was the first time they actually. Well, they looked human in a couple of their playoff games. I remember, but that was the time it was really like shit. This team can beat them.
Right, and it was the first game I remember them looking human was actually Week 17 against the.
I went to that game. I think I've told you this like 50
You
times,
have,
but
you definitely
yeah, I was
have.
at that game and it was a pretty awesome crowd because at the old Giant Stadium,
Right.
old in Meadowlands, and yeah, I mean, I had no idea when I saw that game that they were gonna meet again, but the Giants really. It was probably. I remember the Ravens brought them to overtime earlier that season,
Right.
but that was the yeah, that
Those
was a
first
really
like
good game.
10 or 11 games, they were amazing, and then they kind of fell off a bit near the end.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it was still a good game to go to because I got to see two records or
right.
three
Randy
records be
Moss and
broken.
Tom
Yeah,
Brady
yeah. Tom Brady's
touchdowns.
passing record, Randy Moss's receiving record, and the 16 which was cool.
Right. I think.
But anyway, about this Super Bowl, yeah, it probably had everything
Yeah.
exciting about a Super Bowl:
Comeback.
dancing sharks, comebacks.
Last second play or last minute play.
Yeah.
It
What was going through your mind after he made that, or what was going on in your mind after the Patriots scored that touchdown?
I thought fucking Tom Brady did it again.
Yeah, and then 30 seconds later, it's like, well, not 30 seconds. It
It
was
was
probably,
like David Tyree did it again.
yeah, basically. But that was with how much time was left when he made that? It was like 40 seconds left, or like 37.
No, I think it was a minute, something
It was a
over a
minute.
minute,
Well, they
because
okay,
there was that, and then there was the Marshawn Lynch run to the 1 yard line from the 5,
yeah.
and then the time kept ticking, and it went down to like 30 seconds. So there was still over a minute left when he made the catch.
It was really funny because I didn't think he made the cat. Obviously, I didn't think he
Oh
made the
right,
catch because the commentators were like, "Oh, okay, the play's over." And they're
right.
like, "Oh, wait a minute, he made the catch."
Reminiscent of Antonio Freeman against the Vikings on Monday Night Football.
Um, trying to remember.
That was the Packers. It was a long time ago. Favre threw it. You saw like the one-handed catch while he was on the ground. It ran in for a touchdown in overtime. It's all
I
over.
do not remember
It's
that.
on Sports Center top 10 all the time.
I don't recall. Was it when he was on the Packers or the Vikings?
The Packers.
Okay.
Um. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and then they fucking ran it up to the half-yard line. They could have just potentially QB sneaked it in. I mean, the
QB
Patriots
sneak.
front line's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't. A lot of people are saying, you got to give it to Lynch there. You got to give it to Lynch. I don't mind a pass call. I think a slant, like just a one of those set plays where he just throws it no matter what, was kind of a weird call.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
if anything, you have him roll out, right? You let him get it, maybe play
yeah, at
action,
least
and
like
then roll
if he
out.
doesn't see an opening, he has to throw it away there. Like
Right.
either put the ball in place so your wide receiver can make a play on it,
Hmm.
and that's it.
Right. Yeah.
Either throw it at his feet, throw it just so a defender can't make a play on it.
Right.
And I guess people have been saying that it's a difficulty of shorter quarterbacks maybe to really have the vision over the line to make a pass like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just an excuse or if it's true. But that's what I've been hearing.
And Russell Wilson's kind of escaping a bit of the heat for that throw. Like,
Yeah, well, it's a
it was a,
questionable throw.
and he threw 4 interceptions the game before.
Yeah.
It's
But he has this good guy persona. Anyway, about the play. Well, I mean, he is a good guy. He went volunteered at a local hospital
Sure.
like the day after they won or something.
He's
like
good.
lost. I mean, like
He's good, but he's too good. Enough. I've had enough of you. He's got something. He's got something in there. He's fucking some kind of weird serial killing shit going on inside of him.
I can see that. I can
Absolutely.
see that.
Like,
But
he's like fucking. I don't know. He's
I-
too polished, too white. You know?
whoa, hold there.
No, you
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean.
guess. I
don't
mean, there aren't really any black quarterbacks in the league except Michael Vick, right? And I guess Cam Newton. I mean,
RG3.
he's not really even a quarterback anymore. Just like it's just a broken human. Anyway, I disagree with you. I don't think a pass was as awful as people were saying, but there was 22 seconds left, or 20. It was
30.
was it 22.
Something.
Yeah,
32.
no, it wasn't 30 something.
It was. Yeah.
Was? Okay, I thought it was in the 20s. But if you have this much time left and one timeout,
Mhm.
you can always run the ball
Yeah.
on that second down,
Yeah.
and you have still 2 more downs to get it in. So if
But-
you don't make it there, you have a timeout and 2 more downs.
But hold on.
So,
If you don't make it there, you have a timeout. You got to use that timeout then, because there will be 20 whatever seconds left. And then after that, then you have 2 play calls. But you can't
Yes.
run it on third down. Otherwise, you got to hurry up to the line to call another play.
yeah, then you pass it on third down, then you run on fourth down.
But
I
if
guess
you're
it's a
gonna
little
pass
more
it- if
obvious
you're
that
gonna-
you would be
right.
passing it on third down
That's
in
my
that
thought.
situation. But I don't know if it's worth the risk if you're already on the half-yard line of just giving it to your back. Of course, there's the chance that he doesn't make it in,
Mhm.
obviously, but I honestly think that's the more safe route to go. And in that situation, I would be trying to be as safe as possible, considering the game is basically yours at that point. Like, honestly, you're on the half-yard line, second down,
I guess.
with, like, the second best. People have been saying he's the best running back, but I think Murray was much better this year. But
Yeah.
one of the best running backs in the league. Great goal line back. Actually, wasn't there a stat about him not being so great from the 1 yard line?
I think they said he's 1 of 5 this year from the 1 yard
Yeah,
line.
but he's still historically been a very good.
But here's another thing about risky.
Goal
I
line
think
back.
I saw another stat like 1.7% of passes from the 1 yard line are intercepted, and 1.3% of runs from the 1 yard line are fumbled. So it's not like a huge extra risk to throw it. I don't think it was that bad of a call.
Because people aren't as outraged, don't usually throw it away in that situation. I would think.
But that's why I
than
say
risk
call
the
a
interception.
rollout. Don't call a slant.
And then, yeah, or just
Punted.
a screen wouldn't be good there because he could be tackled behind the line. But
You don't want that.
yeah, honestly, I think a run is the best play in that situation. I'm not gonna shit on them like everyone else has,
Right.
but
I wouldn't have hated a run. I'm not even saying that was bad. I can understand where the pass was coming from, and I don't think it's that terrible of a play
but
call.
when I looked at that play, when I was watching the line of scrimmage before the play, I'm like, oh, it was weird. They look like they're gonna pass, and I was like 75% sure they were gonna pass it, and it looked like
Right.
the Patriots were prepared for
At
that.
least call
Belichick said they were
at least
prepared.
call play action. At least do something.
Yeah.
That's weird. And also, I do just fucking that not calling a timeout by Belichick is crazy stupid. It's gonna get overlooked because they won. But why would you not call a timeout there?
Because it gives the Seahawks more time to prep for the play, and
But you can't count on a turnover there. You can't go, oh, we're gonna go get a turnover. That doesn't make sense.
yeah, but they could hold them for a fourth down, and the game would be over.
But you're willing to take the chance of an extra 25 seconds off the clock to maybe have a better chance at holding them on second down, and then they still have time to prep for third and
The
fourth down.
Patriots have how many timeouts do they have? If they had all their
They had
timeouts, I
two
forget.
timeouts. Two timeouts.
They had two timeouts left. I don't think you're gonna march down the field against that defense with less than
They
30
did it.
seconds left to
I
get in the
don't
field goal
know.
range.
The Packers
Honestly,
did it last week, or a couple weeks ago.
not at the end of the game.
There was a minute and a half left, and they drove down in about 30
Oh yeah, you're
seconds.
right.
In about 30
Sorry.
seconds.
My mistake. That's yeah.
I don't know. I think they could have done it.
It's a really difficult situation, and we're just speculating on it. But
Right.
it's to be in that situation. You don't have much time to think about what you're gonna do. Honestly, it's
Especially
very
after when you just saw Curse make that fucking catch and maybe dash your dreams again.
yeah. It looked like Brady was like crying.
Yeah.
And then he started like jump. Did you see his reaction after he
Yeah,
finished
yeah, that
time?
was great.
Jumping out like a little faggot.
And
Just
they
like
went
jumping
on the
around.
broadcast. They went right from that reaction to the Sherman reaction.
You know what that reminded me of? You know that video from a really long time, the greatest cry ever? The guy's like,
Right.
somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
the
yeah.
dad's like, nah.
Right. So, Tom Brady. That was a pretty good game from him, I'd say. Great comeback again.
Hmm?
I can hear all you're eating.
Yeah, I'm eating
Disgusting.
crackers
It is
with cheese on them.
disgusting.
I haven't eaten at all today. It's
Oh,
been
and this is
6
my
o'clock.
fault somehow.
Remember the one time you were chopping on something? I forget. It sounded like the funniest thing ever.
No
Oh well,
idea.
it was like a really long time ago.
Um, yeah. So.
Yeah, it was 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions,
Mhm.
350. I don't know how many yards.
In the fourth
Yeah,
quarter, he
so-
was like what,
Yeah,
13
that
or
was
15
crazy.
for 100 and something yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And here's the thing: when he was down 10 points in the fourth quarter against Seattle's defense, and came all the way back, won it. Where does this place him on the greatest of all time quarterback debate?
Let me just finish this cracker 1 sec.
Oh,
I honestly remember did we have this discussion last year on the podcast?
we did, and we both
We
said,
both said, "Oh, Peyton Manning, Peyton
yeah,
Manning."
yeah.
Well, I don't know. If anything were to change my mind, it'd be this.
hmm Here's what got
And
me.
honestly, as a Colts fan, I'm with my boy Payne, like to the end of the earth, right?
Yeah,
But I have to, like, Brady's just performed so well in the playoffs this
Mhm.
year. That game against the Colts.
okay.
Yeah, game against the Colts, he performed amazing,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure where I'd rank his performance in this Super Bowl.
Yeah,
The all-time performances. I know Montana in that 55-10 game
right.
back. He had 5 touchdowns, I think, no interceptions, and like a 70% pass completion percentage.
Here's what got to me. I'm very, I like stats. You know, you look at stats, and Manning's got him beat pretty much across the board. But here's what got me. When Manning was down, like, what was it, 11 points in the fourth quarter against the Colts. I was like, this
Yeah.
game's over. It's over. And you could tell. You just knew it was over.
Well, it was based on the perform. Well, you're also basing that on the performance throughout the game. Broncos got consistently outperformed the entire game, while the Patriots arguably outperformed the Seahawks. I think.
No, I don't think that's true at all. Seahawks had more yardage than them by far, and more turnovers. They were
Yeah, but the Patriots did have that one turnover. Tom Brady threw an interception in the red zone. That should have been another touchdown.
in the first half they were great, but in the third quarter the Patriots did nothing offensively. Nothing.
Well, how many drives did they have in the third quarter?
A few. Um, at least a couple, because the Seahawks scored 14 points, so they must have had at least 2 possessions.
Did they have a turnover in that quarter? I do not remember.
Maybe 10.
I feel bad because it was just a week ago.
Brady might have thrown an interception. I
Okay.
think he did. But I think it was on like third down. Yeah, it was on third down in their own territory. So it worked just like a 3 and out. Yeah, to me, and you just knew Brady wasn't out of it. And the same thing against the Ravens. When they were up 14-0 and 28-14, you were like, Brady's going to find a way to bring this back. And I didn't feel that for Peyton.
I don't know if I felt the same way you did at that point. I mean, obviously, I felt that Brady had a better chance than Peyton of doing that, and he ultimately did, unlike Peyton. But I, I don't know if I felt that the Seahawks at that point. I don't think the Patriots were going to score 2 touchdowns in that defense, honestly, without the Seahawks running the clock significantly and not scoring on their own. So I don't know. I don't know if I felt the same way. I know for a fact I felt the same way about Peyton in that Colts game, but that was because the Colts completely manhandled them.
But what about
that
Peyton
game.
against the Seahawks last year? When they got down early? Were you like,
I had actually hope going into halftime, and I think they were down like 24-6
nothing.
or something at halftime.
All 8 points came in the fourth quarter for Denver, so it must have been nothing.
Oh, it was 24-0. I actually thought that. I mean, I didn't think it was likely, but based on how Manning performed that season, I thought it was definitely a possibility that they could come back like you did. Tom Brady. So
The only big comeback I ever remember Peyton doing in the playoffs was against the Patriots.
yeah, and the conference championship, that was an amazing game.
Yeah, that's probably the best game of his career. I'd
They were
say
the-
even more than the Super Bowl because
They were down 22-0. He didn't have a very good Super Bowl. The running backs won them the Super Bowl.
no, I don't mean bad. I mean
Rosen.
most memorable for him. Like I think the happiest he was after he beat the Patriots because it was like
Well, there was that crazy game against the Bucks where they were down 28 points.
that wasn't the
with,
playoffs. That wasn't a playoff game.
It was a Monday Night Football game. Though.
Yeah. But that was after all the storylines of Peyton can't beat Brady. Peyton will never beat Brady, and then he had the crazy comeback to beat Brady. That was the first time he beat him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's got to be his best, like his most memorable game of his career.
Why do you think Payton underperforms in the playoffs? Is it people always assume that it caves to pressure, but Payton doesn't seem like one who would cave to pressure. I think what happens is Payton performs at a consistently high level throughout the season.
Right.
Like he's very consistently good, very extraordinarily consistent in the effort he puts in.
Mhm.
But when you get to the playoffs, players crank it up a couple other levels.
Yeah.
And I think Payne's consistently performs at the top or near that top level throughout the season. So when it gets to the playoffs, you can't really crank it up as much as other people do, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. His stats are still okay for postseason. It's not like he's done terrible. I think he's got like an 87.5 passer rating, something like that. Which is
But
about
still, his teams have had reputations of choking in situations.
right, but only because they always get the 1 seed and 2 seed, and then they. I see, and he's I think now under 500, or he has been for a bit. He's under 500 career
Well,
in
I
the
mean,
playoffs.
in 16 playoff appearances, he's gotten to 2 Super Bowls, and how many conference championships? 4? Was it 4 or 5?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that is crazily
Oh
underperforming.
no, 3 Super Bowls. He went to 3 Super Bowls.
Right.
Stupid. Yeah. 5 conference championships.
Yeah.
Which is if you get the 1 seed most years, you just have to win 1 game, you know.
Right.
So Yeah.
I think it's still also funny that the only quarterback that could beat Brady in the fucking Super Bowl was fucking stupid Eli Manning. And he's done it twice.
Dude, he's the GOAT.
He's
I
fucking.
don't know what you're talking about.
he's retarded anytime he's facing anyone not named Tom Brady. And then he faces Tom Brady. Turns it up.
He's like the opposite of Peyton Manning.
Right.
He's a shitty regular season quarterback.
That's
But in the
hilarious.
postseason, he can beat Tom Brady, and I think he has like one of the best postseason. Like, actually, no, I don't know about that. I remember hearing that stat somewhere, but I don't know how true it is. Like, best postseason QBRs. I think Breeze is a very good one.
Do you know who actually has the best passer rating ever in the playoffs of any quarterback? Bart Starr. From back in
Really?
the
Damn. I
back
was
when
gonna say Warner, but
back when passer rating was nobody had a high passer rating. He was able to do it. I think he went like 10-0 playoffs. Won a
no,
bunch of
that's
championships.
how is that
Only
possible?
2 Super Bowls. Well, it was back when
Oh, you're talking about the championship era.
right. It was he
So
he
what
won the
was
first 2 Super Bowls, but he won a bunch of championships before that too.
Yeah, I think Warner's up there. He was pretty amazing. I actually wanted him. Remember, there was all that speculation that he might have come back this year for the Arizona
Right, I wanted
Cardinals.
him
I was
to
rooting
so
for it
bad.
hard.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
How
He
do
probably
you let
wouldn't have been any
Ryan
good,
Lindley? How
but-
do you let Ryan? He would have been better than Ryan Lindley. I'm sorry. Anyone would have been better than Ryan.
Yeah, why
fucking
didn't they
Lindley.
start that rookie? I thought they were
Logan
going
Thomas?
to, but
Or
they
even
didn't.
Tebow. You're telling me Tebow running wouldn't be better than Ryan Lindley throwing it into the ground?
Yeah,
I don't-
dude, they looked so good at the beginning of the season.
did.
With Palmer and oh man, I blanked
Stanton?
out on his name.
Stanton?
What?
Stanton?
Stanton, yeah, Stanton played well.
He did.
And he's not even a good quarterback.
He's not.
I mean, he looked great on that team. So, I mean, they disappointed me, but not like they could have controlled the injuries, but it was disappointing because I like the Cardinals. So.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Belichick. I think he's.
Oh, I didn't say whether I thought Brady's the GOAT. I do
Oh.
think he's the GOAT, honestly, after this season and this postseason, and he's gonna play probably 2 to 3 more years, and Manning may have a year left in him. I think that Brady will go down as the greatest right now. So.
To me, it's about the eye test, and the eyes tell me Brady's fucking amazing. I didn't.
No, Manning's fucking amazing.
I know that, but it's weird in the playoffs. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's what I explained. At least that's what I think. But
I wasn't around to watch Montana live, so I don't know what to say about that in terms of the eye test. Marino's stats are incredible considering when he played, but he just never got a Super Bowl.
Montana went to 4 Super Bowls. Brady went to 6. Brady's been to how many championship games? Someone said it like 10.
12, I
something
think. I think
absurd.
it's 12.
12. Holy shit! 12 championship games.
That's insane.
Like 15 seasons or something. 14 seasons.
But again, it's hard for me with team accomplishments versus individual. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's the only player left from the Super Bowl team, the
Well,
last one that they won, which was 2004.
Only player left, but there's another guy in there that's
Yeah, that's
pretty
true.
important.
He's won 6 Super Bowls, I think.
Belichick?
Yeah, he's won 6.
Oh, as like coordinator and shit.
Assistant coach, yeah, the Giants.
Okay.
Those were the only Super Bowls that Parcells won,
Mhm.
and Parcells without. I saw a stat. Parcells without Belichick as his assistant coach went like 1-5
Wow,
in the playoffs.
wow. You know what's interesting too though about Brady? He's about 2 miracle plays away from being 6-0 in the Super Bowl, but he's also a couple plays away from being 1-5 in the Super Bowl. All of his games have been so close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna win 50% of them, So.
Well, I don't know about that. Ask Jim Kelly if you're gonna win 50% of them.
Well, I mean, the miracle play just happened on the first one. The rest were blowouts.
Tyree,
The second
the
one was
the Manningham, that was a crazy catch.
Oh, and the
People forget about that. The second Giants.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I wouldn't call that was a miracle play. It was just a very well executed play.
And
It was a perfect
couple
pass.
huge Vinatieri field goals. I'm not saying miracles are winning. I'm just saying it's
Big
very
plays.
close. Very couple big plays away from being 1-5. and a couple big plays away from being 6-0. You know.
Yeah. Well, imagine if he was 1-5 in the Super Bowl. Would we be saying he's the GOAT?
No,
Probably
not at all.
not.
And if he
I
was
think he's the
6 and
biggest
0,
choker in playoff
if he was
history.
6 and 0, I doubt this would even be a debate.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. Weird how that works. Well, I think based on how Manning's teams perform consistently well, but Brady's teams have performed consistently well in the regular season and the postseason. You can't argue that.
Yep.
So
He gets it done when it matters.
yeah, the playoffs. So yeah, let's just. I think we both agree on that. So our minds have changed in
a
like
year.
12 months.
Yeah. I do also want to bring up though, beginning of the year, I said the Patriots would be real good this year. You said, nah, they're on the decline.
Yeah, I thought they were.
Anything.
But they're the youngest team ever to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then after the Chiefs game, I was like, nah, you're right. They stink. And then
What was their record? They were like 5 and what were they?
no, they were 2-2,
Okay.
and they almost lost to the Raiders too. So they could have been 1-3.
I remember that.
And then they turned it on. So yeah, I
they really
think
could.
what Belichick's done. Holy shit, man. That guy's fucking a really good coach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a football mind when it comes to like strategically, honestly, like play calling outside of Madden, you know. But
The guy consistently puts together insane teams. Even when Brady was out, they went 11-5.
yeah,
And
it's crazy.
yeah, if I asked you, you could start a franchise with Brady just being drafted, so Brady at 21, whatever.
Oh, Belichick.
Or Belichick. When he
Belichick.
started. I'm taking
Without a
Belichick
doubt.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know what Brady would have been without Belichick.
Okay, I think Brady, even if he was an amazing quarterback like he has been and put up these great numbers,
Right.
there's no guarantee that you're gonna build a team around him, you know. But with Belichick, whatever parts you give the guy, he's gonna put it together a functional machine.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, it seems whatever he's like. Yeah, as you pointed out, the 1 year that they didn't have Brady, they still went 11-5. They should have made the playoffs, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I definitely think he's probably the greatest coach I've seen, probably in best coach ever discussion.
I'd put him in there. People are going to bring up cheating and shit, but that just makes him better to me.
His record with the Patriots, his only losing season was the first one where he was 5-11.
With Bledsoe.
Yeah, and then his total record's 175 and 65, so he's won 73% of the games.
Does that
He's
include
basically
with the
averaging
Browns?
12-4. What?
Does that include with the Browns or just the Patriots?
No, this is the Patriots. The Browns, he was around 500 with. He was 36-44.
And then he just figured something out.
Well, he was also after the Browns. He had a few years. I forget what he did, but he didn't go right to the Patriots. He was on the Jets, I think. He filled in for like a few games, I think.
Right.
He was the assistant coach to someone. I don't remember, but maybe figured something out in those few years. So.
Yep. And the fight at the end of the game. That was kind of a nice end.
No one's bringing it up. I don't know why. Like it seemed right after the game, people forgot about it. I haven't heard like anyone talk about it, but it was pretty disgraceful, honestly. Like,
fuck off. What are you talking about?
They're
Disgraceful.
sore fucking losers.
It was
why would you?
disgraceful.
It was. They were sore fucking losers.
I would be too if I fucking lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you don't fucking hit a guy. Over
Sure
it.
you do. I'll fucking
This
hit
isn't
whoever.
Hockey. I don't know what you do in
This is
Canada,
fucking
but
hockey. Shut your mouth. Who gives? Oh, it's football. I want to see dudes.
no, they're little vaginas who can't like tolerate losing because they're the Seattle Seahawks and they're the best team in
They
the NFL.
give each other concussions, and you're complaining over a couple swings. Relax. It's
Yeah,
not.
but I mean, you have to fucking not be butthurt over a loss.
It was
you know?
hilarious. It was hilarious. Disgraceful. What is the matter with you?
Yeah, they're so fucking butthurt. I don't know, like,
Of
yeah, of
course.
course you're gonna be upset when you lose a Super Bowl, but take it like a man, Like don't
Yeah, go down
hit the
swinging.
guy.
That's what men do.
No, men go down shaking each other's
Oh
hands. I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. The
This
old
isn't hockey, man. This isn't hockey.
yeah, it's football, but 10 times more violent.
There's still a degree of chivalry in football that doesn't exist in hockey. I feel should be respected. Be respected.
Respected. Oh, we must all respect the great NFL who conducts itself in such a wonderful
No, but I
manner.
mean, there's etiquette when you lose that you shouldn't be a fucking little bitch about it, Like, they were just being little bitches, like, honestly. Like, they can't wrap their mind around how they could have lost that game, so they're gonna take out their anger by hitting another person. Like, what the fuck? Who
Yeah,
does that? Who
who
does
does
that?
that? Football players. People who are
I guess why
roided
that's
up
they
and have
do that
8
and not really.
concussions per game. That's who.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably like brain bleeding that's getting into them. Well, they were extraordinarily injured. Well, they probably didn't get enough of their Adderall or whatever. I cannot calm down.
I really like the Seahawks, and I can't though now. Now what they did to the Packers, or what the Packers did to themselves, I can't. I have to hate the Seahawks, and I don't want to. I like their kind of cuntiness. I like that. The
Yeah, and then they start crying after they lose. So I mean, they're not really like big, strong men. They're like little babies. I mean, I can't believe I'm calling
yeah.
the Seahawks babies.
How about you go
Funny.
call
Like
fucking
a
Cliff Averill? Go up to his face. And call him Michael
little
Bennett.
baby. Oh my god. Luckily, it's the internet, so you can say things anonymously.
Yeah, totally anonymously, Dan Goodman.
Yeah,
I think that's
that is my real name.
Who do you think's got a
Uh,
better chance of going back next year?
huh? Better chance to come back next year? Well, I think it all depends on whether the Seahawks keep their most important player,
Yeah.
which is Marshawn Lynch, and he's getting up there in age.
Yeah.
And I mean, his attitude hasn't been the best,
Yeah.
so there is a chance that he might be cut.
Here's the
Still,
thing, though. Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, and Jeremy Lane all have pretty big injuries that could hold them up a bit going into next year.
I think only a couple of them are supposed to go like 6 to 8 months. I think Earl Thomas is what did he do? He tore his MCL? Was it
That was Chancellor, I think.
Chancellor? He hit his MCL torn during the season. Oh, it was an ankle injury, something along those lines. But
Yeah. And
he's
Sherman,
6 to 8 months, so he should be back.
yeah, Sherman had Tommy John. He'll be about the same.
Sherman, yeah, that's right.
Lane, I think he broke his arm. I think he's fucked. And then Earl Thomas should be good, I think. But
No, I think the broken arm's not supposed to be that long. Depends how. I didn't read much about it, but I knew he was injured as soon as that play happened. By the way, just how. But
from what, the replay where his arm is bent in half?
no, I
You're
mean
real
like
perceptive
not even
there.
seeing the replay, just seeing him in like immense pain. You could tell he was actually injured.
Oh man, you see a guy in pain. Oh, I
Yeah,
think
but
he might be hurt.
sometimes they're just like playing it, like soccer players.
Right.
You
Okay.
don't always believe them. You could tell something serious happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the prognosis on that one?
To me, I'm going the Patriots. I don't see any reason why they can't get back. I think.
Yeah, they're a young team. I think I agree with you there.
I think
because
they got
of
the easier
Seahawks.
easier conference too.
There's too many question marks with the Seahawks with all those injuries and
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch especially. He's getting up there in age. He probably won't be back. I mean, he will be back this. I think he'll be back this year, but the year after, I don't think he'll be back. I think.
Right. And so that'll
I'm
end.
just here so I won't get fined. You should have added that.
How did that? Crazy that became such a huge thing. He just repeated things. He kept repeating things. He'd repeated
He did
different-
that before too,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like,
the whole
another-
season he'd been doing it. Like, why? How long did he take to come up with this? When did he come up with these things he was gonna repeat?
He's like the ultimate troll. It's so funny because people still ask him like legitimate questions. Like I don't know if they expect real answers
I don't
or
know.
like I don't understand. Like
Like,
people
why
in the
wouldn't you
media.
just ask him, why are you here? Right? And then you have to go, oh, I'm here so I don't get fined. Like,
It's like,
I don't know.
what? It's like, where would you hide if you played hide and seek or something, right?
Yeah,
Or
right.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, why would you be here if you're playing hide and seek? I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah, just ask him something.
Do you get it? It's a
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
joke.
And,
That was pretty bad. Yeah, but I forget. He repeated something after or before the conference championship game. It was really funny too.
it was, I don't know. Russell Westbrook copied him at one point with the execution thing. Because he was saying shit like,
We're gonna start
Oh.
talking about Frogman.
thanks, thanks for axing, or I appreciate you axing. That's what he was repeating.
Axon.
Yeah, I appreciate you axing me.
Oh my god.
Of course, the originator of the great repeating of words is the wonderful
We talking about practice.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah, but I mean, that's completely different. I think it's pretty funny.
That
Though.
was just him being completely.
Just like, yeah, just didn't give a fuck about anything.
Iverson's one of the greatest because he really, you could tell he was fucking. Just he didn't give a fuck.
Man, he was an amazing player.
At
Man,
5'11".
he actually gave a fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy.
So that'll end the wonderful NFL season.
Oh, we need to talk about the biggest surprises, though.
Yeah,
The biggest
This is our
disappointments.
conclusion.
Oh, I thought you said that. That's it. I was disappointed because this is what I wanted to talk about.
What is your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise, well, the Cardinals. Well, didn't I pick the Cardinals? I think I picked the Cardinals for the playoffs next year. I mean, this year. But they definitely surprised me. They could have gone 14-2, it seemed, at the beginning of the season because they started like 8-0. They just started ridiculous. If they would have kept their quarterback, I think they could have gotten the 1 seed and they could have just ran through the playoffs. But there's probably bigger surprises. Let me just think. Oh yeah, yes, the Cowboys. Cowboys have to be my biggest surprise.
I agree 100%. That was.
They, yeah, they finally got over the hump of winning the division. They haven't been in the playoffs in 4 or 5 years.
And before the year, people were talking about like this might be one of the worst Cowboys teams in years too.
Yeah, I remember that. I
Just
think did you pick the Cowboys for the playoffs? I think you might
Oh
have.
God, no. I didn't. They
Why?
I did last year, not this year.
Okay, I think I picked the Eagles.
Yeah, me too. And the Cowboys, because everyone was saying, oh, that's going to be one of the historically worst defenses of all time, and it was average, and the offense carried them.
Yeah, and they actually won a playoff game, which is amazing.
And they
I'm
probably
happy for them.
probably could have beaten the Packers if they had a call go their way.
Yeah, what do you think about that call? I never heard your opinion on that, being a Packers fan.
I was very, very grateful.
But do you think it should have been considered a catch? I know based on the rules they say it wasn't a catch, but
Well,
do you
I
think
was
there should be
very,
a change? Because that was kind of ridiculous.
I was
thought.
very, very grateful.
Okay, you're not even going to give your opinion on that. I think you thought it was a catch.
Of course
You
it was a
think should-
catch. Just look at the play. It's a catch. To tell someone who's never seen, doesn't know what football is, tell them to
I
go
saw
watch
some,
it.
Like refs analyze and they said it technically wasn't a
Oh,
catch.
fuck off
But I
with that. It's
mean,
a-
like,
If that happens to me, I want that to be a catch 100 times out of 100.
yeah,
Of course
you're
it's
on
a
the other end of that.
Ab-
Another
absolutely.
huge surprise. Another huge surprise I thought was Detroit. I don't like Caldwell. I didn't think he was a very good coach when he was on the Colts. 2-14 with
But
him.
but I feel like having Jim Schwartz, anything's an improvement.
He did very well this season.
As a
So
coordinator, he's not a head
that's
coach.
true.
He's a
That's true.
coordinator.
they
He
were
asked
like,
his
the best
players
defense in the league.
after they beat Detroit, he asked his players to pick him up on their shoulders.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember that.
head coaches don't do that. That's not something a head coach would ever do.
They had the 4th best defense in the league this year, though, Buffalo. And with Rex, I didn't like the Rex Ryan hire particularly. I felt that I like Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator. I think they needed more of an offensive-minded coach, especially with bleak quarterback situation.
Right.
But I didn't think the hire was that awful. I wasn't a particular fan of it.
I
But
was
yeah, I thought
thi-
Detroit was going to go like 7-9 this year, but that was another surprise.
I was thinking the Falcons too would definitely hire Rex, but they ended up getting the Seahawks coordinator, so that's
It's a
Pretty good hire,
improvement,
too. Yeah.
Definitely.
That'll help their defense over Mike Smith.
They
Here's
should have
my
made
thing
the
with
playoffs
Caldwell.
this year,
I think Caldwell's a fine coach until the game starts. Because his clock management and all that, when he chooses to challenge and when he does shit, none of it makes sense. Like, he doesn't understand that part of the game. But as a coach during the week, any day but Sunday, I think he's pretty good. I think he can build a team. He knows how to teach them to do well. And yeah, I think
He improved that defense very much, I think, over Jim Schwartz even.
yeah.
And then the offense was... They didn't have Matthew Stafford throw it like 800 times this season and actually had success. So
Yeah.
that was a key point.
With his fucking
What do you think of
retard
his play
arm.
calling?
throw.
Do you think it's any good?
Was he calling their plays?
I think... I'm not sure. Was it their coordinators?
I'd assume. I'm not sure though. Maybe he was.
Probably had some involvement, though, obviously. But
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a good surprise. What about you? What's your biggest disappointment?
my biggest disappointment. Chicago was a big disappointment, but there has to be bigger ones.
Come on. New Orleans?
Yeah, I was about to say, but I think there has to be a bigger disappointment. Or is there?
Bigger? People were picking them for the Super Bowl before the year. San Fran?
Francisco. I'm gonna have to go with San Francisco.
Oh, I'd
over
go
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans. New Orleans lost the worst division in the history of the NFL, and they didn't win it.
I mean, San Francisco didn't do much better, honestly. They were. I was thinking them for the Super Bowl. I think I picked them. I think I honestly picked.
I
San
thought you just said you
Francisco.
picked Arizona.
No, I picked them for the playoffs before the season.
Oh,
Obviously, I
no.
didn't pick them for the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Jeez,
okay.
I said they were a big surprise.
Okay.
They could have gotten 14-2. I think I picked San Francisco for the Super Bowl this year. That team was amazing. They should have made the Super Bowl last year. One of the best teams that I've seen a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy defense, and
Just
I
wonderful.
don't know how they
management.
declined so much, and they lost their head coach, and I don't know how they're gonna be for the foreseeable future.
What a great management decision to let Jim Harbaugh walk. I think. How could you come up with something better than that, huh?
Yeah,
Guy who brings your team is in the dumps for
I think there
15
was
years ever since Steve Young, and you bring in a guy, after years of being in the gutter, just awful teams, he brings you to 3 conference championships in 3 years, and then you're like, he's a bit of a dick, let's kick him out. You think him being a dick had something to do with winning all those fucking games? That's ridiculous that you're gonna let fucking Jim Harbaugh walk.
I don't think it was their decision. I think there was a lot of disagreement with the ownership and Jim Harbaugh, and they didn't really have a choice. They obviously didn't see eye to eye. Obviously, this situation happens a lot with teams like the Cowboys, too, where even when the coach is performing very well, the relationship with the ownership isn't the best. And
But you fucking, if you're an owner, you make that work. Why would you do that?
yeah, but I mean, Harbaugh's kind of an abrasive personality.
Yes!
I can see how that.
That's why he wins games.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I think there's a problem there beforehand that's been there for a while, and that they didn't really have a choice.
I want San Fran to be fucking horrible. So much I want that.
I'm probably gonna be like 6-10.
I really hope so. I hope they're bad for years and years, and they don't recover for at least 10, 20 years.
What do you think of Oh, never mind. Yeah. So you're gonna watch the Better Call Saul tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll watch it. Sure.
I think it's they're putting the first 2 episodes Sunday and Monday, so it's 10 o'clock, I think. It's supposed to be very, very good. I read an article on Grantland about it that said it was supposed to be excellent. So
Good to hear. That's
not a
an
disappointment.
odd transition, but all right.
I need my Breaking Bad fill that I've been missing out on for a while.
All right. So the NBA.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
The
Can't
old
talk about TV.
National
How about
basketball.
Sunny? Tell me, what was the Sunny episode?
Yeah, the last one was incredible. They actually did a scene that was 7 minutes long, like a shot, a 7 minute long shot without.
Oh, did you see the movie Birdman? It was nominated for
I
an
did
Academy
not,
Award.
no.
It's supposed to be very good. I think you'd like it. I think you would like it. It's very weird, but The entire movie is one shot.
The entire movie?
Yeah, the entire movie's one shot.
That's insane.
It was like the best editing I've ever seen. It was like a really fun, like you'd like the movie a lot, I think.
I'll check it out.
It's with Michael Keaton. It's probably gonna win the Academy Award. Best, well, one at the Golden Globes. It's either gonna be that or Boyhood, I think. It's like a dark comedy. So I think
I'll
you
watch
like
it.
dark comedies, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Probably fun.
Sonny's been great this season. You should catch up on that.
Yeah, I know. It's cold to me.
I don't know. What do you want to talk about TV? What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. I haven't been watching that much TV, but I've been wanting to. Did you watch Fargo at all?
Yeah, that was great. I love
It
that.
was great. Okay, they're coming out with the next season, or was it just a miniseries?
They're doing a new season. It'll be in like
Okay.
a while though. Not for
All right. And then did you watch True Detective?
I did.
What do you think of that?
I enjoyed that. I liked Fargo more. Everyone was talking about how like True Detective is one of the best things they've seen in a while. I like Fargo more, but
Was a True Detective kind of cliche? I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Matthew McConaughey. I saw him in that movie, Interstellar, and he's kind of a faggot in there.
How about
But
that
he sometimes goes
car
like,
commercial though, huh? Oh, great car commercial he did. You ever
The
see
Super
that?
Bowl?
No. Yeah, that's commercial going for a while where he was like way too intense about a car and it was weird. South Park made it.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
The South Park season was pretty good.
I enjoyed it. They
Was,
changed things up a bit, which was they needed.
Refreshing, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's been kind of stale for a
Yep.
few seasons.
Yep.
But it's still definitely on the decline. You can't disagree with me.
It's not what it was. I mean, it's fucking, what, 16, 17 seasons in? Of course it's not going to be what it was in
17, I think.
in season 4 or 5. What do you expect?
Well, like 3 through, no, even before that. 3 through 11 was like the best seasons of TV comedy. It's up there with some of the best TV comedy. But Seinfeld ended after fucking 9 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that with South Park? It's like Trey and Matt. I mean, I guess
Why
they don't
do
really
it?
give a fuck about their.
Yeah. Why
How
the
people care.
legacy
It's
of
just more
South
money.
Park is money, and it's also if they
should.
enjoy
They seem like people who would care about that, though. but-
It's Always Sunny. They said they're gonna keep going until people tell them to stop making it because they just enjoy doing it. They still find it funny, and they want to keep going.
Yeah, but their show's actually pretty good still. I think it's better quality than. The difference between Sunny at its best and right now was a lot different than what South Park was at its best right now. I feel like South Park's declined a lot more. It's gonna become another
But-
Simpsons, which I feel
But like
they
you said,
don't want to.
season 3 to 11 of South Park was some of the best. Sunny's not even in season 11 yet, so how can you compare it?
No, I'm saying right now, Sunny is not as funny. Well, it's a little less funny than it was just like seasons. What was it like?
It's a different
3
show.
through 6.
Seasons 3 through 6 or 3 through even 5, I'd say, were a lot more kind of like it was kind of realistic, but like still really funny, and you could kind of get into the characters. And by this point, the characters have just broken, and it's just crazy ridiculous what's happening, but it's still really funny.
Because they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, so they just extend the boundaries so far. So it just depends on your style. I think they're two totally different shows with the same characters at this point.
Yeah. Good point. I never thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the NBA, right?
Yeah, the National Basketball
Your
Association.
your favorite sport?
I am really enjoying it. And I'll bring it up later. So last night's games,
Yeah.
pretty fucking good. I'd say it was
Yeah,
the best night of basketball of the year for sure.
I have to be honest. I haven't watched that much basketball this year, partially because I'm a Knicks fan, and it's very painful for me to follow the season like I do a lot with baseball. With the Mets, when the Mets are down, it's difficult for me to follow the sport. But I've been keeping up a bit. I haven't watched that many games, but last night was very, very good, and I agree with you.
But damn, the triangle.
Triangle. Fuck
Triangle.
you.
It's
Fuck
gonna
you so
save.
much.
It's gonna save the Knicks.
Derek Fish is the best coach in NBA history. The next Phil Jackson, the protege of Phil Jackson.
Jesus Jesus.
It's gonna lead us to 11 championships.
What do the Knicks do from here? They get their pick.
I just feel bad for Melo, man. He should have just booked it. Like,
No, fuck that. He stayed for money. That's what you're gonna get. You can't be like, oh, well, now we're not winning. Well,
he could have gotten like basically the same amount in Chicago. Like, it wasn't.
It would have been a lot.
much
No,
of
it was like 40 million less. I think it was like 80 something mil to 120 mil or something.
But how many years? The year difference?
It doesn't matter really because you don't know how good he's gonna be in.
I think he'd be more marketable in Chicago too, even though he's in New York right now. No one really wants the Knicks are just stinkers right now.
But listen, that was his choice. His choice was I'm gonna go to New York for money. So he can't fucking complain. When he came out with that thing, it was like, ugh, what are you doing, guy? Come on.
Oh, it was like he was trying to be like LeBron. It's funny.
Right.
No one cared.
With his fucking weird hats. Fuck off with your weird hats.
I hear his wife tastes like
Cheerios?
Cheerios.
Garnett's one of my favorite fucking people. Anything is possible! It's a bar fight.
All right.
Did you see the
What
fight?
was your favorite game from last night?
You see this fight with Dwight Howard recently?
No.
Oh, never mind. My favorite game, fucking Pelicans. OKC, that was great because there's already some playoff implications in there, and that was an awesome game.
What do you think of Anthony Davis's shots in a three-point competition?
Yeah, I think he'd do all right. As long as he double clutched them all and had two defenders guarding him.
I don't think he'd be able to make them all 28, is it? No. Because there's money balls. Something like
Right.
20, I think,
The
shots.
3-point contest might actually be pretty good this year with the competition. Better than the
who's
dunk.
competing in it? Or
It's Bellinelli, who won it last year. The Splash Brothers, Thompson and Curry.
oh, both of them?
Yeah,
Are
both.
they going to be like a tag team? Or
No, they're separate. They're entering separately.
Oh, dude.
Harden?
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Harden, Kyrie, Corver, a couple other really. Oh, Wes Matthews, and someone else.
Kevin Love?
No,
He won it, though.
He did.
So
did Kyrie.
Ridiculous. What was I going to... The fucking Klay Thompson game. That was like the best thing I've ever seen
shit.
in my life.
I wasn't watching that live, but I saw the whole quarter later on I found it somewhere, but I wasn't watching live.
Was
But
it 37 points?
37 points on 13 of 13 shooting in the quarter.
And he started scoring with like 7:30 left.
Yeah, that's when he got the bulk of it. It was
It was like the
insane.
most unbelievable thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I couldn't fucking that was unbelievable. And to me, the best part of that, did you see Curry's reaction the whole time to that?
Did you see what?
Curry's reaction the whole time to that thing?
No, I don't
He
think
was
so.
the whole time he was going crazier than if he hit a shot. And that's why the fucking Warriors are good this year. Completely he was loving that shit. And when Curry went off the other night, Klay Thompson was loving that shit.
Yeah, Curry had 55? It was like 50. He scored 50. I know.
Yeah, it was at least 50.
But yeah, that was like probably the greatest
Quarter?
7-minute performance
Oh, for sure.
in basketball
It was
history.
the best quarter ever.
Yeah, by anyone.
I know that one dude.
What was he from 3? He was like 9 of 9 or something.
Yeah, 9 and 9. And the one dude who came out fucking who had the record before, who said, he didn't break my record because we didn't have a 3-point line in my day. Shut your mouth. He broke your fucking record.
Did you see Cousins' reaction to that?
Was he just
got
sad
more
on the
and more
bench?
depressed, yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing. He's like the most depressed player right now. I feel so bad for him.
He is, yeah.
His team sucks.
They suck, and he's great. And he almost didn't make the All-Star game.
Yeah. What do you think about the All-Star game snubs?
Everyone's talking Lillard, you know. Lillard got
Yeah.
snubbed, but I mean, his stats aren't great. I think he definitely got snubbed for Durant because Durant played half a fucking season, not even. But
Yeah, I agree.
but it wasn't a huge snub. I think if Durant was a good selection, I think Lillard would be the one I leave off if Durant weren't there.
I think BK was snubbed this year. Brandon Knight. He's had a very good under-the-radar
He's been
year,
great.
and is one of the reasons why the
Who would you take out?
Bucks were
Doing good.
Or still in the playoff scene. I need to check who's made it, and then I'll tell you. I'll
Alright,
start.
it's, the starters are Lowry, Wall. Oh, I don't know the front court. I was gonna try to list them off. I have no idea. I think.
This was last year's. You could either put him at the 1 or the 2, but he's shooting very well. I think he's shooting like 46%, 18 points per game. But more importantly, he's the reason why that team is doing so well.
He's having a good year. He could still make it. Dwayne Wade. We'll see what happens with this injury and if he bows out.
Oh yeah, he should go in through over Dwayne Wade. I feel maybe. I don't know.
So far, we're hearing it might be Kyle Korver though. That's kind of the consensus. It'll be Korver over. If it happens, but it could be Knight. It'll either be Knight or Korver for sure. But I'd say the consensus is Korver at the moment.
I think the West are much stronger if you just look at the
Oh, for sure.
rosters.
For sure.
Everyone in the West is ridiculous.
And did you
don't
hear-
even have one weak spot.
Did you hear Durant posted a couple days ago or whatever? He said, if anyone wants my All-Star spot, they can play me one-on-one. Fucking Lillard should totally take that offer. Listen,
He would not beat Durant one-on-one.
of course not, but Lillard Durant one-on-one, I think that'd get higher ratings than the All-Star game. Who the fuck cares about the All-Star game?
That's true.
I would watch
All-Star
Lillard
game
Durant
sucks.
one-on-one.
Usually in basketball.
You would watch Lillard Durant
Yeah,
one-on-one, wouldn't
yeah, I
you?
would. But I think Durant would definitely win.
Yeah, for sure. He's got the size advantage, the
The length
range
advantage. He's
Well,
probably
actually,
a better shooter.
Lillard can hit it from pretty deep at times, but
I think Durant's consistently a better shooter than Lillard. He's a better inside game.
for sure, Durant's just better.
Yeah, he's just a better player. Well, I don't know how he could be good at like a point forward. He's not very good at that. I don't know if he's good at distributing the ball. It's
Well,
okay.
no, I'm just talking about he's a better player. Like, he's a much better player.
Well, I mean, if you look all-around player, I don't think he can play point guard, obviously.
Well, Lillard can't play fucking center or power forward. What are you talking about?
He's not a center. He's a forward.
No, I'm saying you can't just because he can't play point guard doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, but like positionally, yeah, Durant's probably better.
If I told you right now, you take Durant or Lillard for
Durant.
the franchise, of course, it's not even a question.
What do you think of the Cavaliers? We haven't talked much about them.
Well, let's talk about our top 5 teams.
Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot about that one.
Who do you got?
Who do I got? That's my top 5. Well, obviously, you have to play the Golden State Warriors there. Without a
Number
doubt.
1?
Yeah, number 1. Even though they lost last night.
I'm going with the Hawks.
Really?
I'm
That
taking the Hawks
team
over them.
is ridiculous. That caught me by the biggest surprise. Even like halfway through the season.
Insane. They've won
Yeah.
what, like 35 of 38 or something crazy like that now. And
Why though? Their
against
team
really
is the
good
same.
teams. Just I guess it finally clicked. They didn't have Horford last
Yeah,
year.
they didn't have Horford. They didn't have their best player. That's true.
It's a big difference. And the system is just Budenholzer. I guess they finally all bought in. And it's working pretty good. 42-9.
Yeah, they're probably good. They have a chance to win 60.
Oh, they're gonna
definitely.
win 60. They're gonna win 60. They
yeah,
just need to
they're
go
probably-
18 and fucking 13 the rest of the way for 60. They'll do that.
Yeah, they're very scary, but I don't know if they have the same. If we're looking at a playoff standpoint, I think Golden State has more to make a run in the playoffs than
Based on what?
Atlanta does, especially in terms of experience. So.
I don't know, because Atlanta's got the easier conference too. They got a much easier path there. Golden State's gonna do it.
There's like 3 or 4 very good teams in that conference.
Chicago and Cleveland.
Toronto.
Toronto and Washington wouldn't stand a chance against them. Atlanta,
I think Toronto would stand a chance. I think you're underestimating your team.
maybe, but
They're the third best team in that conference. I put them ahead of Cleveland right now.
at the moment they're second
Yeah, I know, but I mean like in terms of overall.
under Chicago,
No, I put them over Chicago and
under Washington. That's
No, I put them under Chicago. Yeah, under Chicago and over Cleveland, and then Washington would be next.
I don't know. I think Chicago's good. They got to get healthy and they got to figure some shit out.
Yeah, they
There's some
definitely in
weird
terms
shit.
of talent, they out talent
For sure,
Toronto.
for sure. We'll just see
Yeah,
what
so
happens.
I'm not guessing Golden State's your 2,
Golden State's my 2.
and then Atlanta's my 2.
Memphis is my 3.
Yeah,
Memphis.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know
Play
about that one.
great team basketball. Play great defense as always.
I
And
really
they're
like the
starting to score this year.
Mavericks.
The Mavericks.
I really like the Mavericks.
They've done nothing since the Rondo trade. They've been awful. Well, not
Yeah, but I
awful.
don't think they've gotten it together yet. But again, maybe I'm being too overzealous with them, so I'll leave them off the list now. And I'll
Yeah.
probably just put Houston over Memphis. I think Houston's a little better. than
Wow.
Memphis.
Houston. Yeah, I had Memphis 3.
I put Memphis 4 for me.
I had the Spurs at 4.
Spurs are 7th right now.
They haven't
They've been playing well lately.
They have,
I'll
and
give you that.
since they've gotten healthy, Patty Mills got back, Kawhi, they're healthy now, and they're gonna come on, they're gonna make a fucking push. They're one of the best teams in the league. And
That
they're
was a
gonna-
little disappointing, even though they're right now they're 33 and 18. The Clippers, they're 6th in the West. They're lost 3 in a row. I think I picked them for the NBA championship. Didn't we both?
So did I.
think
Yeah.
we both did.
picked them.
And they're
Although I think I had Chicago over them.
They've lost 3 in a row.
Won to
So-
Toronto last night after being up 30-10 after the first quarter. They ended up
Oh,
losing.
that was like
by
that crazy Golden State game
16.
against Dallas. Maybe you're right about Dallas. They blew that big game to Golden State.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like when they made that trade, they lost Brandon Wright, who was huge in their bench.
Yeah, but I mean Tyson Chandler's so huge he can fill in 2
He's
roles.
great.
So.
Tyson Chandler's awesome. He's a great fucking player, but I don't know. They swung with the Rondo trade, and
I think it's ultimately going to pay out for them, and I think I might put them 5 right now.
I have Cleveland at 5.
Really?
I think they've turned it up. They're what, 12-1 in their last 13.
Yeah, they lost. Just lost the game.
The Pacers. I think they lost a bunch of games when LeBron was out, and they were okay. But LeBron's
Giving that coach shit. I remember. They're giving the coach shit. Black.
Yeah, LeBron's a new guy since that 2 weeks he took off, and
Yeah, he can turn it up.
and they're gonna be in there. They're gonna be right in there. So I have them 5.
What do you think of that coach?
David Blatt.
Yeah.
He's I don't know. I think LeBron's the coach.
People were talking about him behind his back, apparently, to other teams. The
Yeah.
players in Cleveland.
Yeah. It's not looking good so far, but Spoelstra didn't look great at first. They were talking about that.
I remember that. I think he definitely. I thought he was going to be like the next huge coach, like the next fucking.
I think
I don't know,
I think
like-
it would have worked out better if honestly if he didn't get LeBron, because they made that hiring before LeBron. I'm not saying it would have worked out better. I'm saying he would have had a less hard of a time. He could have
Yeah.
really shown what he can do with because all he would have had to do was bring that roster to the playoffs, and it would have been an improvement
Yeah.
if he didn't have LeBron.
Well, apparently he was the Greg Popovich of the
yeah,
European
he won all
football.
those titles.
Yeah.
in
What?
fucking- He won all those titles in
Yeah. He was
overseas.
supposed to be a similar coach.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I like Cleveland. They're the team I'm rooting for right now with the.
You're so funny. Just fucking last year.
Hey,
LeBron-
I'm not like my dad. My dad fucking the
LeBron,
Cleveland fan again.
LeBron was your least favorite human in the world, and
Yeah. People
and-
can atone for their mistakes. What are you laughing
his
about?
mistakes
Sure.
of going to Miami, and then he leaves Miami, and it's atoning for his mistakes.
No, but I mean he did so in a very honorable fashion. So I don't know. It's not like he stood up on stage and was like, "I'm taking my talents to Lake Erie." Expletive.
So your whole hatred of him was based on a 1-hour TV show he did.
Well, I thought he didn't do right for Cleveland. Like
Didn't
honestly.
do right for Cleveland. It's silly.
Dude, you have to fucking like this city's not won a championship since the 40s. Their only hope was in this one guy, and it seemed for a while that he was going to come back to the team, and then he surprises you with this bullshit press conference where he assembles a super team where he doesn't have to do as much work he did in Cleveland to have success. And I don't know. I just didn't like it. And I thought the way he went back to Cleveland was much more subtle and much more with the piece in Sports Illustrated a lot better. If he would have handled how he went back to Cleveland when he first went to Miami, I think my perception of him would be very different.
Do you still like the Wiggins for Love trade they did?
I still like the. I don't think I ever really liked that.
Really?
I think I like it a little. Do I like it a little more? It's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to say that after the season.
Do you like
Because
it
if
more?
Love doesn't re-sign with them, then I wouldn't like it very much.
And Love hasn't been good at all for them.
He's been rebounding well. He's been playing the post okay, but he hasn't been.
No defense. He won a game the other day without shooting from the first quarter on. It's very strange. And Wiggins is looking way better than people thought after the draft.
Way better.
Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah, I liked Wiggins a lot. I thought Cleveland should have kept him, but I mean, I didn't like the trade. I wasn't a huge fan of the trade. I made it, but I
Wow.
wasn't a fan. I think
For most people,
I thought
it's
Love
the
was
other
going to
way.
perform better, and I didn't think Wiggins was going to perform as well. But I still don't think it's a bad trade until we see what Kevin Love's going to do with his contract.
Fair enough.
But I think he's played okay. There's been a couple games where he's carried Cleveland, especially when they don't have LeBron. He's had a couple like 25 point, 10 rebound games. I remember.
Right.
He's carried the offense a bit. So it hasn't been a complete bust, obviously, but we knew he wasn't going to perform as well as he did in Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it's expected. He's probably a little worse than what we expected from him.
So the Orlando Magic
Yeah.
fire Jack Vaughn. Were you surprised by this at all?
I don't even know that was the coach in the NBA. I guess I'm surprised to hear that the Orlando Magic had a coach,
Yeah.
let alone one named Jack Vaughn.
I think this is a great move for them. Jack Vaughn was awful coach. Everything he did was just wrong. And Orlando has some talent on that team. Oladipo, Tobias Harris, Elfrid Payton,
Yeah, they're on my
Shannon
fantasy
Fry.
team. I need them to do well.
Vucevic. I think a new coach could give him a little
Do you
boost.
think they're gonna rehire Mustache Guy?
Who?
The guy who Dwight Howard got in all the fights with? I don't know.
Oh, Van Gundy?
Yeah, Van Gundy.
Well, he's on Detroit right now.
Yeah, they could hire him from Detroit. Does he have
Hire
a
him from
brother?
Detroit? Jeff. Jeff Van
Yeah,
Gundy is the
yeah.
ESPN
Yeah,
analyst.
they can get him.
Get him. Just exchange brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
What do you think about that one? They can exchange the brothers.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on. Detroit was doing well, and then the Jennings injury.
Yeah, I saw the Bucks sent him like a care package with all this nice stuff. That was a really nice thing to do. He hasn't even been on the team in a couple of years, but obviously they still care a lot about him. Pretty classic move.
Yeah. So that's the National Basketball Association.
Yeah. Greatest league on earth, right?
No.
Full of racist Clippers owners and
That's
fucking commissioners who look like they have Marfan syndrome.
and it's apparently sexist point guards on the Clippers as well. But
Oh yeah, what did you think about all those teas? That was a little overzealous.
it was completely overzealous, and all
Think it
Chris
was
Paul
too
said,
long?
all. I don't know. She's a rookie. You got to give her the benefit of the doubt. But
Yeah, do you think people are giving her a lot of unfair criticism because she has a vagina?
I think people would criticize her, anyways, after those technicals and after what Chris Paul said. And I think he got fined, and that's the rules. He
I'm
should
just
get
curious that I won't get fined.
fined. I think, yeah.
That female ref was one of the worst refs of all time. Anyway, sorry.
I think she's definitely she made some bad calls, and I think Chris Paul didn't like him and said it. He didn't say anything sexist or anything. He just said he didn't think she should be a ref particularly, and the league fined him as they should.
Alright. Thought you were going to be a lot more sexist in your comments.
Listen, I'm never sexist. I am all about the female.
Let's face
Uh,
it. And
huh?
I've been funny. I mean, no disrespect. But you're a cunt. You're a cunt now. You've always been a cunt. The only thing that's going to change is you're going to become an even bigger cunt.
That was a shout out to all our lady listeners out there.
What's that from? I don't remember that one.
You gave that one to me, so I have no idea. All right, so we're moving on to the MLB here. And the Detroit Tigers, who had a championship window these last few years, made it to the World Series and lost to the San Francisco Giants. And
A couple of times, right? Was it just once?
just once, the Rangers lost twice. Tigers lost once. And so they've had a good team for years. Verlander, Scherzer, Cabrera, they had Fielder there, Victor Martinez, and
That guy with
Torrey
the
Hunter?
mustache, I really liked him.
they lost
He's a
Torrey
pretty
Hunter
good
too. This is, I don't know. I think their window's closed. They still got Miggy. That's about all they have.
I think when you're still the best player in the league, you can't count a team entirely out.
In baseball, you can. You absolutely can.
Well, I mean, you don't know what moves they're going to make in the next couple of years in terms of free agency. Cabrera's on contract for several more years. Maybe this team that we knew, the team that we knew from a couple of years ago, their
Yeah.
window was closed. But I don't think the Detroit Tigers' window have closed.
But what you also got to realize is how much money they have tied up in the best player in the league for years. 7 years, something like that. A lot of money, a lot of commitment.
Yeah, but they also have one of the highest payrolls in the league. They have a lot of money.
Oh yeah, Detroit's thriving.
No, but I mean consistently,
Yeah,
they're
I know,
very.
I know.
They've had a lot of money to spend. I mean, what else is there to do to Detroit besides shoot up fucking crack cocaine and go to Tigers game in
Yeah.
the summer?
Go to a Tiger.
I mean,
Just imagine they fucking film the audience. Everyone's
see,
on
see all those
crack.
ghetto people like playing baseball in the
Right.
parks, their pants falling down.
I just wish I fucking wish we could just see an entire stadium filled with people on crack, just
Detroit.
going crazy in the stadium, freaking out.
Go to Detroit, man.
I do want to get what they got, like fucking $5,000 houses there.
Yeah, they do, because everything's foreclosed.
That'd be really fun to fucking buy a fucking house there, or even something smaller.
Can you lend a nigga a pencil?
Just helping each other out.
It's funny, because there's $5,000 houses there, but no one can afford them.
It's true. That's why they're $5,000. I think, yeah. And the Padres, close to signing Big
This
Game
is not the name of a
James.
joke. How do you know? How do you find the richest Mexican in the room?
Oh, I know this. It's go ahead.
You don't remember?
I can't remember. I've heard
You
this
throw a
before, though.
penny on the floor, and
Yeah.
whoever gets the penny.
Okay, yeah, that's funny. That's great. Yeah. So the San Diego Padres close to signing Big Game James. Are
Big
they-
game.
Big Game
Game
James, although he
James.
didn't really show that in the playoffs this year. He was not what you'd hope of him in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think I'm sad because I was hoping the Royals could make another run, and it's gonna be hard without Shields. But
That was crazy. That was fucking
awesome.
nuts.
And just
That
one
was
game
one of the
away.
biggest surprises ever in
One
sports,
game
I feel.
away. Oh, by the way, I meant to mention. Do you know I got the Hawks at 10-1 to win the NBA championship? 10-1. A few weeks ago.
No, when did you?
And
Jesus.
and it was a few days after I made that bet, they dropped to 5-1. So I got in just in time.
How much did you put down?
Like $50.
Yeah, it's not that big of a payout. It's pretty
500,
big.
that's not bad. And again, even if they make it to the fucking championship, I can hedge. So I'm
What's up, man?
so I got 50 on them to win, right? So if they face, say, the Warriors, if I put like 150 on the Warriors, I'm guaranteed to make at least $100, no matter who wins.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're
Hedging.
getting good at this.
What?
You're getting good at this.
It's really a basic gambling thing, but yeah. So I think the Padres could do some shit here if they get James Shields. They got Tyson Ross and Andrew Kashner in their rotation. They got Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, Will Myers. Go with Solarte, Alonso.
They're the best team in that division. It's a very strong division.
It's a good team. It's a strong division. San Fran is still really good, but they don't make the playoffs in odd years. So I think.
Do you think the Dodgers are better than them?
Yeah, the Dodgers are still the best team. They don't got Hanley anymore, but they're still the best team in that division. I think, for sure. Kershaw's the best in the league in pitching the ball. They got Puig and Gonzalez.
Team Puig.
Team Puig. So what do you think? You think the Padres will be good?
Well, from all the moves that they made, I think they definitely have a chance to not win the division, get one of those wild card spots.
Is it just me, or are the Padres like the most anonymous team in all of sports? Like they're the most like bland, weird.
Bucks?
What?
The Bucks.
The Buccaneers?
No, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, yeah, they're up there too, for sure. Utah Jazz. Although they had Stockton and Malone, which helped them a lot. But,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
the
know.
Bucks did have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when they won a championship.
I think to me, the Padres, they're just so bland and, like,
How about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
they're up there. But, oh, I loved a couple of those teams. Gerard. Fucking Gerard. I love that.
Yeah, they went
fucker.
like 13-3. They almost beat the Patriots the year that the Patriots were undefeated.
Yeah, they did. And, didn't they make the conference championship game the second year of their existence? Something like that?
Yeah, the biggest highlight ever in their history is they played Marino for his last game of his career.
That's
You
crazy.
know that game?
No, I
They
don't.
won. They won 62-7.
Wow.
The Jaguars.
Oh,
It was the first
shit.
round of the playoffs, the wild card game.
Man, that's a
Well,
bad
Marino's
way.
last game.
Bad way for Marino to go out.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of fitting.
Yeah, I guess it's
62-7. That's crazy.
I guess it's good that Manning didn't go out
It's
after
also
that.
Shula's last game too.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They know how to go out. Some teams out, some people out.
All right, you want to end this thing?
Sure. Any closing remarks?
Any what?
Closing remarks?
Nothing. Yep.
Yeah, me neither. Well, we'll probably be back in a couple weeks, I think, right?
Yeah, I think this
Maybe
went
talk about some more stuff other than sports. I don't know.
I think this went good.
I don't know how much will happen in the next 2 weeks. We'll talk about the draft or something.
Yeah, we can do
Yep,
draft.
see you around, guys. Nice seeing you guys again.
Yeah. Well.
See you later, faggots.
Well, there you go. Back to your slogan.